Good morning. This is
Good
Kim.
morning. This is Andy.
And we're going to read to you from the Urantia book, okay? First, we got a little selection from Light the Flame by Andrew Harvey. Today is June 11th. This selection is by Hazrat Inayat Khan, who was a poet. I think he was, where is he from? India? He was a Sufi. He was born in India. And he lived from 1882, 1882 to 1927. He was a Sufi. He brought Sufism to the West. What else did I learn about him? Oh, he was an accomplished musician and teacher and poet. Okay, so do you want to do this one? Okay, Andy's got Hazrat Inayat Khan.
Beloved Lord, Almighty God.
Talk a little closer to this because the air conditioner's on.
Beloved Lord, Almighty God, through the rays of the sun, through the waves of the air, through the all-pervading life and space, purify and revivify me, and I pray, heal my heart, heal my body, heart, and soul. Amen. Nice.
I think that's just lovely. I don't think there's anything really deep about that. I think I see nature in this, the healing power of being in nature, healing through the rays of the sun and the air, and all pervading life. So in order to heal, I need to be connected with living things. I can't isolate myself. Right?
Right. Right.
Okay. That's really lovely. Okay. Today we're on paper 8, which is the infinite spirit. Okay. And we're on part 1, the God of action. And it kind of goes, thought is the Father, the Word is the Son, and the action is the Spirit. Does that make sense? Okay. I'm going to read for a little bit. In the eternity of the past, upon the personalization of the infinite spirit, the divine personality cycle becomes perfect and complete. The God of action is existent, and the vast stage of space is set for the stupendous drama of creation, the universal adventure, the divine panorama of the eternal ages. Okay, so this is the last member of the Trinity, and this cycle is complete of thought, word, and action. Okay. The first act of the infinite spirit is the inspection and recognition of his divine parents, the Father, and the Mother, Son. The Father, and the Mother, Son. Okay, so, and I see the Father and the Son looking at each other, and then the Spirit looking at them. So that's the first act of the Spirit, is to see his divine parentage and his own divinity, or his, I shouldn't say his, I should say Zaz. Did I tell you about my divine pronouns? I have deific pronouns. I should use them though. I made them up, I should use them. Okay, so Zaz. Okay. Z, the spirit, instead of he, I say Z, unqualifiedly identifies both of them. Z is fully cognizant of Zaz's separate personalities and infinite attributes, as well as Zaz's combined nature and united function. Next, voluntarily, with transcendent willingness and inspiring spontaneity, the third person of deity, notwithstanding his equality with the first and second persons, pledges eternal loyalty to God the Father, and acknowledges everlasting dependence upon God the Son. Okay, so these actions, of course, they're not taking place in time sequence. They're just it's like that's always going on. That's always and forever just going on, just eternally. Okay, so you can, when I think of that, is that, yeah, is that's just always happening every moment, all of these things happening at the same time. Okay, so you go right here, inherent in the nature. I'm gonna put this away. I don't know, how did this come out of there? Did it come out of there?
Inherent in the nature of this transaction.
Okay, you gotta talk closer to it.
Okay.
Come here, sweetie.
Inherent in the nature of this transaction, and in mutual recognition of the personality independence of each, and the executive union of all three, the cycle of eternity is established. The Paradise Trinity is existent. The stage of universal space is set for the manifold and never-ending panorama of the creative unfolding of the purpose of the Universal Father through the personality of the Eternal Son, and by the execution of the God of Action, the executive agency for the reality performances of the Father-Son Creator partnership.
Do you want me to go?
I'll go.
Okay, you go.
The God of Action functions, and the dead vaults of space are astir. 1 billion perfect spheres flash into existence. Prior to this hypothetical eternity moment, the space energies inherent in paradise are existent and potentially operative, but they have no actuality of being. Neither can physical gravity be measured except by the reaction of material realities to its incessant pull. There is no material universe at this assumed eternally distant moment, but the very instant that 1 billion worlds materialize, there is in evidence gravity sufficient and adequate to hold them in the everlasting grasp of paradise. Wow.
Isn't that awesome?
That's amazing.
So that's like, but like I said, it's like we think about this. This is a hypothetical moment. So really, in actuality, this moment is constantly occurring. It's constantly in occurrence. Okay?
Right.
So we're constantly bursting into creation.
That's pretty awesome.
There now flashes through the creation of the gods the second form of energy, and this outflowing spirit is instantly grasped by the spiritual gravity of the eternal Son. Thus, the twofold gravity embraced universe is touched with the energy of infinity and immersed in the spirit of divinity. In this way is the soil of life prepared for the consciousness of mind made manifest in the associated intelligence circuits of the infinite spirit. I don't even know what to say. I'm in kind of awe when I read this. It's like, okay, so I see the flashing of the Father and the Son, and then the Spirit coming like and recognizing both of them, and then everything kind of like falling into ripple effect after that, kind of, and then in this pattern that's kind of perpetuated out throughout space-time. I don't know. And then that is like the formatting of the possibility for us to come into being and recognize this.
And speaks also to time being of no consequence to God. Past, present, and future are all happening.
Yep.
At the same time.
It's all kind of
for God.
Yeah.
which my finite mind is running pretty fast to try to understand.
That. Well, I think you have to kind of let go of understanding it, because you can't understand it in the way that we're used to understanding things. In a way, you have to accept that this is just, I guess I think of it as like okay, when you think of a manufacturing plant, right?
Mhm.
You have the finished product and you have the raw materials, but all phases of the production are ongoing all at the same time.
Mhm.
Okay?
Right.
So if there's a material way to think of it like that. It's like all these phases are all happening at the same time.
Mhm.
But you know what, in every place though too.
Right. Mhm.
All of this is bursting out of all things all at the same time.
Mm.
See?
Wow.
Just like all those phases of production.
There's more worlds happening and coming into existence.
Yep.
In the right now than
Yeah.
ever existed before.
Yeah.
We think about going and exploring other worlds, but there's new ones coming online so fast that we'll never explore the whole.
Come up here and talk closer to my machine, because I'm afraid they can't hear you, sweetheart.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, but what you're saying is really wonderful. Go ahead and say it again.
Well, there are more worlds being created in the moment than ever existed before. And so when we want to go and explore new worlds, there's an unlimited number of new worlds to explore.
Yeah.
It's like watching programs on the internet. Not only have we not seen everything that's been put out, but there's more new programs, shows, movies, TV series coming out every day than we have time to watch.
Yeah. And even like when you get to like every cell in your body or every atom
Mm-hmm.
is a world of potentials that's exploding right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just in your body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard to comprehend, but true. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Yeah, and I think science is starting to unfold some of these truths too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to keep going. Okay, I'm on paragraph 6, I think. Okay, upon these seeds of potential existence diffused throughout the central creation of the gods, the Father acts and creature personality appears. Then does the presence of the paradise deities fill all organized space and begin effectively to draw all things and beings paradise-ward. The infinite spirit eternalizes concurrently with the birth of the Havona worlds. This central universe being created by him, by Za, and with Za, and in Za, in obedience to the combined concepts and united wills of the Father and the Son. The third person deitizes by this very act of conjoint creation, and Z thus forever becomes the conjoint creator. Okay. Another way that I thought of it yesterday, and you weren't with me yesterday, but okay, so the Father has the original thought and speaks the word, and the word is the Son. But what do they need? What do you need whenever I speak to you? There's one more thing that is needed before you can hear my words. What is that?
The listener.
No, the listener is the Son and the word. Before the word can come from my mouth, what do I need?
Thought.
I need air.
Air, right?
So it's like, I always think of the spirit as like the medium, right? Whatever's between you and I,
right,
that makes it possible for us to connect. because I'm me and you're you.
Mhm.
And we can just leave it there.
Mhm.
That's the Father and the Son.
Mhm.
But we want to do more than that. We want to connect. We want to communicate.
Right.
We need something else. We need the air between us. We need the space between us to connect through.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like that. And and I was going to say too. Okay, so this is pointing to that when the Father first personalized the Son or separated himself from the Son, that implied in that creation, what went along with that is the creation of the Isle of Paradise. Okay, the Isle of Paradise went with that because that was a physical kind of like a manifestation of that, right?
Mhm.
And then when they together created the infinite spirit, then what the repercussions of that, or what happened in accordance with that, was the creation of the Havona universe. Okay.
Mhm.
So here with the personalization of the three deities here, the Isle of Paradise from the personalization of the Eternal Son, and then the creation of the Havona universe resulted from the creation of the infinite spirit, or the personalization of the infinite spirit. And then the creation of the seven master universe, or the seven super universes in the grand universe, was a result of the plan to create beings that were less perfect and that are striving toward perfection,
Mhm.
that are capable of recognizing this and growing to recognize this.
Mhm.
So that was the idea of that. But before that, just the three of them themselves had heaven to themselves. Okay, I'm going to read one more,
Okay.
and then you can read, okay?
Mhm.
Okay. These are the grand and awful times of the creative expansion of the Father and the Son by and in the action of their conjoint associate and an exclusive executive, the third source and center. There exists no record of these stirring times. Of course, again, it's a hypothetical kind of thing. There's no record of it. We have only the meager disclosures of the infinite spirit to substantiate these mighty transactions. And Z merely verifies the fact that the central universe and all that pertains thereto eternalized simultaneously with Za's attainment of personality and conscious existence. So the spirit, Za's self, is confirms by Za's own testimony the meager disclosures of the infinite spirit that these things happened as a result of Za's personalization, of his attainment of personality and conscious existence. In brief, the infinite spirit testifies that since Z is eternal, so also is the central universe eternal. And of course, that's Havona. And this is the traditional starting point of the history of the universe of universes. Absolutely nothing is known, and no records are in existence regarding any event or transaction prior to this stupendous eruption of creative energy and administrative wisdom that crystallized the vast universe which exists and so exquisitely functions at the center of all things. Beyond this event lie the unsearchable transactions of eternity and the depths of infinity. Absolute mystery. So there was no before this. Before this, if there was in conjecture a before this, it was empty. It was mystery.
Mhm.
It was the depths of infinity. Absolute mystery. Okay, your turn.
Okay.
Right here.
And we thus portray the sequential origin of the third source and center as an interpretive condensation to the time-based condescension to the time-based and space-conditioned mind of mortal creatures. The mind of man must have a starting point for the visualization of universe history, and I have been directed to provide this technique of approach to the historic concept of eternity. In the material mind, consistency demands a first cause. Therefore, do we postulate the Universal Father as the first source and the absolute center of all creation, at the same time instructing all creature minds that the Son and the Spirit are co-eternal with the Father in all phases of universe history and in all realms of creative activity.
Okay, so that doesn't make sense to us, right? And I think that's really the brain fart that we have to get past, right?
Right.
Is that yeah, this is always, yeah, but our minds, and it's because our minds are limited by having a starting point, that we can't understand anything that doesn't have a starting point.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So they're telling us this in order to help us understand, but really it's not like that. It's just so that we can understand. Yeah.
And we do this without in any sense being disregardful of the reality and eternity of the Isle of Paradise and of the unqualified universal and deity absolutes. It is enough of a reach of the material mind of the children of time to conceive of the Father in eternity. We know that any child can best relate himself to reality by first mastering the relationships of the child-parent situation, and then by enlarging this concept to embrace the family as a whole. Subsequently, the growing mind of the child will be able to adjust to the concepts of family relations, to relationships of the community, the race, and the world, and then to those of the universe, the super universe, even the universe of universes.
Okay. Okay, so eventually we're going to be able to understand these things. It's just because we're limited, but we grow. That's the wonderful thing about being imperfect, is that we're capable of growth. Right?
Right. Exactly.
See? And we can bemoan all we want. Oh gosh, I wish things. It's like a little kid who's who's like 10 years old, wishing that they were grown up, and then, you know what I mean? But this is a miracle that we are able to grow and develop this way. And other creatures that are born perfect, they're not privileged to have these experiences, these growth experiences that we are. So I feel very grateful for that. And yep.
So we're each working on our own doctorate of divinity.
Doctorate of divinity. Yeah. And this thing, this is college. This isn't kindergarten, Sunday school. No, this is spiritual graduate school, man. That's what Jill put it to me one way like that. She said, "Oh, that's kindergarten. This is graduate school." And I'm like, "Yeah, you got it." All right. Okay. I'm going to look forward to seeing you later tomorrow, and hopefully Monday night I'll be able to see a lot of you at our live group. That will be great. Okay. Bye.
Great day. Bye.